They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. I said, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hands, my dear, and look me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my whole life. But you just beg to see me dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. They
Good morning, everybody. A happy Wednesday to all of you. Let's get started with the birthdays this week. Quite a few of our friends have turned a year older since we last met. Right, we have Dia in Standard 1A, Jisha in Standard 1C, Bossa in 2A, Eli in 2B, Tegan in 3A, and Remone in 3C. Happy birthday to all of you children. I hope that you've had a wonderful day celebrating your special day. Tuesday this week, we all wore our red t-shirts to school to support World Rhino Day. As we know, our beloved rhinos are amongst the most endangered animals in the world today. Most rhinos live in wildlife reserves where they can be looked after very carefully. We have people in Botswana doing the same for the rhinos who live here. This morning, I thought I'd read a non-fiction book for a change so that we can find out more about these extraordinary animals. Rhinos. Animals in Danger by Helen Orme. An animal in danger. Rhino is short for rhinoceros, which means nose horn. There are 5 different types of rhino. African rhinos live on the grassy plains of southern Africa. Asian rhinos live in forests and on grasslands in India and other countries in Southeast Asia. All types of rhino are endangered. Some are very close to disappearing completely. African rhinos. 2 sorts of rhino live in Africa, the black rhino and the white rhino. Both types are actually the same color, grey. African rhinos live on open plains called the savanna. They are plant eaters. They eat grass and leaves from low-growing bushes. The African name for white rhinos was wide-mouthed rhinos because they have wider mouths than the black rhinos. People who came to Africa thought the local people said white, not wide, and this is how they got their name. The black rhinos are the rarest African rhino. Many of them now live in wildlife reserves where they are looked after and guarded. Without this help, they would disappear very quickly. Asian rhinos. There are 3 sorts of rhinos living in Asia. These are the Indian, the Sumatran, and the Javan rhino. Indian rhinos live in open places near rivers in the north of India and in Nepal. The Sumatran rhino lives in forests in Borneo and Sumatra. It is sometimes called the hairy rhinoceros because it has a shaggy coat of hair. The Javan rhino is the rarest of all the rhinos. There are only about 60 animals left in the world. They live in Java and Vietnam. Feeding. All rhinos are herbivores, but different sorts of rhinos eat in different ways. Grazers, such as the white rhinos in this picture, eat grass and other plants found on the ground. Browsers, like the black rhino, eat leaves growing on bushes and trees. Grazers and browsers have different shaped mouths. Wide mouths are good for grazing. Narrow pointed lips are best for browsing. Rhino life. Adult rhinos usually live alone. They come together for mating, and sometimes white rhinos will gather where there is a lot of food or water. If you see a group of rhinos, it is most likely to be a mother with her young, or a small group of females. In this picture, female rhinos are cooling off in a waterhole with their calves. Male rhinos have territories. They mark them with piles of dung. Sometimes these are 1 meter high. This is a warning to other male rhinos to stay away. Male rhinos will fight other male rhinos that come into their territory. Charging rhinos. Many people think that rhinos are dangerous. They think that rhinos will charge at people or vehicles for no reason. This isn't true. But if a rhino is frightened by people or another animal, it can run fast, up to 50 kilometers an hour. A group of rhinos is called a crash of rhinos. Maybe this is because they crashed through trees and bushes while they are running. White and Indian rhino calves usually run in front of their mothers. The calves of black, Javan and Sumatran rhinos run behind their mothers. Problems for rhinos. Horns. Black and white rhinos and Sumatran rhinos have 2 horns. Indian and Javan rhinos have 1 horn. Male rhinos use their horns when they are fighting over territories. The front horn of a male white rhino can grow up to 1.3 meters long. Some people use rhino horn to make medicines. They believe that rhino horn can cure illnesses, but this is not true. Rhino horn is also used to make dagger handles. Many rhinos have been killed for their horns. Poaching is the main reason why these animals are endangered. Rhino horns are made from keratin. This is the same stuff that your fingernails are made from. Like your fingernails, rhino horns are no use in medicine at all. Problems for rhinos. Habitat loss. In Africa and in Asia, the human population is growing. More and more land is needed to grow food for people. Rhinos need a large area of land to find enough food to eat. Their habitat has been taken over and used for farming. Most rhinos have to live in protected wildlife reserves. In Asia, the Sumatran rhino are losing their habitat too. The forests where they live are being cut down by illegal lodges. Problems for rhinos. Climate change. The changing climate could be a big problem for rhinos and other wild animals. Climate change causes droughts. Rhinos are put at risk if water holes dry up. They have to travel long distances to find water and might not find enough to survive. When there is less rain, the sorts of plants that grow change. In Africa, the grasses that some rhinos eat might be replaced by scrubby bushes. Less rain also means that desert areas with no plants at all will get bigger. Saving the rhino. People are trying their very best to save the rhino. Zoos around the world have set up breeding programs for rhinos. In Africa and Asia, wildlife reserves are meant to be safe homes for rhinos. Even so, sometimes poaching still happens. One way to save the rhino is for tourists to visit the animals and watch them in their natural habitat. Wildlife tourism brings in money for the countries where rhinos live. This means protecting the rhino is important to the local people. Here are two maps showing where rhinos live. The red areas on the maps show. African rhinos live in eastern and southern Africa on open grasslands. Indian rhinos live in open areas in northern India and southern Nepal. Sumatran and Javan rhinos live in small areas of Nepal, Malaysia, and Indonesia in swamps and forests. We can see how very lucky we are to have rhinos in Botswana. They are not found in many countries across the world. Here is an example of a book that you can find in the library if you want to go and read some stories about rhinoceroses. I found this book in the early years section and this book in the junior section. The Standard 2's Mrs. Mitchell is selling some beautiful cards that some children made in art lessons. And if you would like to buy some cards, please go and see Mrs. Mitchell. All the money that she raises is going to a rhino sanctuary here in Botswana.
I know, everybody knows, you got 1 tail, 4 feet, 12 toes. Mr. Rhino, look what grows. 2 big horns on the tip of your nose. Now you got 3 friends, Mr. Rhinoceros, elephant, buffalo, and hippopotamus. You got 2 bad eyes, but you're not deaf. In Africa and Asia, there's not many of you left. Mr. Rhino, everybody knows, you got 1 tail, 4 feet, 12 toes. Mr. Rhino, look what grows. 2 big horns on the tip of your nose. 5, 6, 7 makes a herd, and on your back rides a white-tipped bird. 8, 9, 10, you weigh a ton, but you're fast as a zebra when you're on the run. Mr. Rhino, everybody knows, you got 1 tail, 4 feet, 12 toes. Mr. Rhino, but look what grows. 2 big horns on the tip of your nose.